We've done this for 10 years. We know what we're doing. Welcome back to 1010's podcast. I'm your host, Robbie, and across from me is my co-host, Dusty Nixon and Adam Nielsen. We're back as a threesome.
Woo! Did you guys know this is recorded? My computer just told me this is recorded. I don't know that I signed up for that.
It's fine. Whoa. I mean, you can just don't they give you the option nope, and then you just boot yourself out of the meeting? I think that's or maybe that's Teams that does that.
Mine just said okay. It didn't give me an option.
I think
I think
Teams gives you the option.
Let me click leave. Okay. If I get kicked out when I click this button, it's Dustin's fault. No, it's still here. Sorry, guys. I gotta finish the show out now.
Yeah, it said someone's watching you through that little light up there, and you get to enjoy it.
That light is turned on right now. This one right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the only thing.
Yeah, you hit okay. It means you're consenting. It's fine. There's no way to say no, but you can definitely keep consenting.
I've probably consented to worse, so it's fine.
We're all consenting adults here.
Yep. Oh, man, it's been a week. I realize it's Tuesday, but it's been a week.
Yeah.
So
one of the managers this morning, or this afternoon, they said to me, I feel like you've spent more time in a conference room with the HR lady today than I think I've ever seen you in the entire time you've worked here. And I was like, yeah, problem is I'm not there to talk about me. So that's been my week.
Oof. Told you not to forward that Caterpillar joke email to all the ladies in the office, Adam.
What I told my HR lady today was, do you want to know what the worst part about managing people is? And her response was people. And I was like, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, but I'm not sure you can say that.
Well, she's a human resources manager, not a people manager. That's different.
And she's dead right.
Yeah, exactly. She's dead right. That's the problem. Yep. So it's been an interesting week for me.
Mine's just been busier than hell. We got all these projects happening all at once. And then we had snow for the commute yesterday, and then it was completely gone. So it was just everyone was delayed 2 hours, and then it was just gone. It was really weird. And it's going to be 70 on Thursday. Welcome to spring.
Same here, but we didn't get the snow.
No.
It's just been 70 here.
Once again, gotten more snow than we did this year.
Yeah, record. I think it's I think we broke the record for most, or we're less than an inch away from the record in a single day ever. And then I think it's the snowiest, wettest, coldest winter in 25 years or something crazy.
We were dangerously close to breaking a record for the least amount of snowfall in February.
Interesting.
And then we got 8 or 10 inches overnight.
Yeah, sounds
we got 10 inches of snow in 6 hours, which was wild.
That's
a lot of snow.
That's never fun. Nothing good comes out of that.
That's a very high rate. That's a very high rate of snow.
Yeah.
I narrowly missed getting to see that much snow in New York 2 weekends ago. So
I kind of wanted.
It sounded holy shit.
I kind of wanted you to see. Yeah, I kind of wanted you to see that snow because I wanted to see a Texan's reaction to it. But also, I'm really glad you didn't get stuck in it because that would suck.
Yeah, Jen and I were looking through Instagram posts and stuff on Monday and been like, yeah. So we flew in on Friday morning first thing, and then Friday night started getting the winter storm warnings for Sunday afternoon. I was like, we should probably change our flight. So we bumped our flight up by 3 hours and got out well ahead of it. But so we're sitting there on Monday looking at it going it would have been not the worst thing in the world to just be stuck in New York for a couple of extra days. But also, as you can tell from the way I sound, I left my immune system in New York. So
there's a lot of people and a lot of people touching things in New York. So yeah, I'm not surprised you have a cold.
The PRI flu will find you.
Yep.
Well,
it's not afraid to travel.
So true to form, 3 days before we fly out, my throat's just a little twinge. I'm like, no, absolutely not. No. And went to the urgent care and they were like, yeah, you don't have strep or anything. It's probably just some kind of mild virus. Okay, cool. And then roam around in the cold and wet until like midnight on Friday, and then Saturday was actually not bad, and then roamed to the airport in the cold and wet on Sunday morning, and then I'm 2 weeks out from it, and I'm still just like. So, apologies for all of the off mic coughing that we're going to hear in this next.
It's fine. That's why half the people are here. That's their favorite part. It's my favorite part. But I'll say I don't have a whole lot.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot that's been going on. I've been working a lot. I've been doing some iRacing, and then I got my engine running, so that's good. So I think where we left off was that it wasn't building oil pressure, and I was very frustrated and sad. So yes, where we're going to go. But yeah, so basically, engine's completely put together in the car. As far as I'm concerned, it's ready to go. And so tried to prime it and had no luck whatsoever. And so it's just like, it just sat there and spun. Didn't build any pressure. So it's had Joe basically remote in and kind of check some stuff over, make sure like the tune was ready to go. And then, but yeah, like we weren't able to prime it. So I spent a day building like a DIY, like back feeding, like power, not a power bleeder, but like that same idea where you take like those spray bottles, and then you add like a plug to it, and then like a pressure gauge and all that stuff. So then I hook it up to the air compressor, and I build pressure in it, and then I'm forcing oil backwards through the pressure sensor, like through the filter and all that stuff back into the engine, trying to get to the oil pump from that side. I put like, I don't know. Actually, so I did 4 quarts that way. Nothing. So, I mean, it works really well on LSs. Doesn't work on VQs. At that point, I was convinced that it was for sure the oil pump, and that it just had lost prime. I was fairly certain of that. So, like, I'm watching videos of like the Boundary, like showing how to put everything together, because I just bought like the whole thing assembled. So I didn't actually like put the gears in the pump. And so my assumption was that, yeah, that thing's just sitting there dry, and that whoever put it together didn't put enough assembly lube on it. Because when Boundary shows the video, they take this like a package of like this blue assembly lube, and they're just like, and you just fill it with this lube, and then you just put the cap back on. And so it's just completely just covered in this like really like syrupy looking blue oil, which mine clearly was not. So at that point, I didn't want to pull the pump, so I wanted to do everything I possibly could to just try. So I dropped the pan, looked up in there, and sure enough, the pump's dry, like at least on the back side of it. So I pulled the pickup tube, and then I also pulled the pressure relief valve on the opposite side of it. And then it was one of those situations where it was like, well, I'm out of options besides just pulling the whole pump out, which includes dropping the upper oil pan as well as taking off the front timing cover and all the accessories. So a big fucking job.
That was the last resort. That sounds like a big step backwards.
That was a last resort. I was going to do everything I possibly could to avoid that. So what I did was I went to Harbor Freight, and I bought one of those oil pumps, like the ones that you thread on top of like an oil bottle, like a Lucas Oil stabilizer or gear oil. So I bought one of those, and I bought a quart of Lucas Oil stabilizer. And so then I fed it up through the pressure relief valve side, and I pumped as much as I could until it's just like making a huge mess all over. And then I'm like rotating it by like the whole crank assembly by hand with, not by hand obviously, but like with a wrench, just rotate the whole engine and just getting Lucas Oil stabilizer all in that in the pump. And then I did the same thing from the feed side, so like up the pickup tube, or where the pickup tube would be, and did it again. And I went through like an entire quart of oil, just like threw it down, like until it was soaking wet, and it fixed it.
So the thing I like about this plan is that you had a test bed to try it out in before you did it with the Lucas Oil
with the
display.
Yeah, it's over there. I should have set it up over there, but it didn't survive the move, so the stand's broken.
You were like, all right, I have gears up here. I need to get oil to them. What can I do? I can use the Lucas, and I can turn it, and it will eventually find its way up.
Well, I don't see why that's a problem.
This is just like a VQ engine right here. It's just 4 very simple gears next to each other.
Well,
this seems perfectly logical to me.
Yeah. Like, the only thing sketchy about it is sticking a hose up into your oil pump. But, like, I was talking to Joe about it, and it's just like,
don't worry about it.
When we put oil pumps together, we'll put, like, Vaseline or shit, and, like, just kind of, like, fill it with Vaseline. I'm like, well, that's going to take a lot of effort, and I don't want to, like, force Vaseline. And as I'm sitting, like, under the engine, I was like, just like a light bulb moment. Lucas Oil Stabilizer. It's petroleum-based. It's fucking perfect. And sure enough, that's all it took.
And the tagline is, it works.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I went and bought the pump.
Clearly it does.
It works. It clearly does.
Yeah.
And so, like, I went to
naysayers.
Harbor Freight to get the pump, the pump head thing. And so I bought a quart of oil stabilizer at the AutoZone across the street, only to come home and be like, I have a gallon of this shit left over from when I had the Avalanche. So,
silly me, I own a shit box. I got Lucas everywhere.
Got a fucking gallon sitting on the shelf. But yeah, so went and put it all back together, put oil in it. Had to wait a day to figure out if this worked or not. Got off work, topped it off with oil, turned it over with the starter, and immediately jumped up to 46 PSI and just stayed there. I'm like, fuck yes. And then it started right up and everything was fine. But man, I was so frustrated for like 3 days.
No great journey doesn't have one giant major potential catastrophe in the middle of it.
Well, we have one more. We have one more hurdle.
Oh no.
And so again, this is one of those things that Joe and I talked about a long time ago, and we're like, yeah, we'll deal with that when we get there. And he's like, when you spin,
kind of like putting the oil squirters in it.
Yeah. The oil squirters are just a minor thing that they can't be that important. Surely you don't want to put those in before the crank and pistons.
No. You just think you had an oil pressure problem with squirters installed.
Oh shit! I'm glad I caught that.
No one is more glad you caught that than my dad.
Yeah, so took it out for a test drive to seat the rings and all that, and then so I had, between all the spare VQs, I had 5 power steering pumps. The one that I put on the engine, dead.
Classic. Why do you have so many power steering pumps, though?
Because every time every time that I've had a bad VQ or spare parts or whatever, I just keep the good parts. And so I assumed that these were all good. So I grabbed one that looked the best.
Well, apparently you kept one of the bad parts.
I kept one bad one.
He had the steering pump revolver, and he went zzz. All right.
Yep.
He played steering pump roulette, and he didn't get the blank he wanted in this situation.
Nope. Yeah. And so just hot swapped it for another one, and it's just totally fine. But yeah, so Joe and I were talking. He's like, yeah, when you're spinning it to 9,000, you're probably going to want different size pulleys on your power steering pump and your alternator. Yep. You know what they don't make? Aftermarket pulleys for VQs. And so the power
they do, but they're just
they're either stock size or like non-existent. Like everyone has the lightweight ones, but
that's what I was going to say. They have
stock.
lightweight ones because the rotating mass of a pulley that weighs that much is a huge gain.
Huge gain.
Yeah, it's definitely worth that time.
Yeah. So the
There's
power.
really no, because like
Nothing.
that surprises me because it's not like you're the only person doing this. People talk about building high RPM VQs all the time.
Yep. So I did the math, and definitely the alternator needs it. And so the old style power steering pumps for the VQs, the pulley and like the shaft and gear assembly is one piece. Like you can't just like swap the pulley. Like you can't even like press it off and put another one on. It's not a thing. Like you'll ruin it. So I'm stuck with that. But the LS uses
Classic.
the LS alternator uses the same shaft and basically the same step out. So like if you get an aftermarket oversized pulley with the shims, it puts it in the exact right location. The only thing that's wrong is that like the lip of the housing of the alternator is like a millimeter unchamfered compared to the oversized radius that's on the inside channel of your new pulley. So I just need to go to a lathe tomorrow and just kind of like move that radius in a little bit and kind of skim cut the backside of it. Because it fits perfectly and it puts it in the exact right position, but it just kind of drags on that radius. So I just got to do a little clearancing. Or I could, sit there and Dremel out the housing, but I'd prefer not to.
But you're an engineer, so
I have access to a lathe, so I'm just going to do that. That way, if my alternator dies, I don't have to sit there and grind off the housing of another one. I can just take the pulley and move it over to the next one without having to dick with it. Is the thought process there.
does PowerMaster or anybody make a nice like upgraded alternator?
I guess I didn't have any that like I was looking at. I also have 5 or 6 spare alternators, so I can go through a handful of alternators before I need to worry about that. So I'll just get the pulley, and then if that doesn't work, I at least can just go take another one off the shelf.
Yeah. It was way back in early days of the Camaro. Whenever we had the 377 in it, we were turning it 7,500. We spun the guts out of 2 just regular old like Delco alternators on it. And then finally went and got a PowerMaster, and like the PowerMaster outlasted that engine.
Yep.
Like we put it on the next engine.
Oh, nice.
After we blew the first one up.
Yeah, because I looked it up and it's like, yeah, an alternator can spin to 20,000 RPMs. Great. And then you're like, wait a second, that pulley's really tiny. So yeah, it does that at 7,000 RPMs.
It's driven 2.5 to 1.
Yep. So in theory, the 3.5-inch pulley that I'm using should be exactly what I need, and we'll try that. And then if the power steering pump proves to be a faulty issue, I'm probably just going to go to an MR2 electric setup, because that looks pretty straightforward, which is probably where I'm going to be going anyways. But I just have everything saved in a file with the list of all the parts and where to get them, just in case. So I'm prepared and ready to do it if I have to.
Plus, if you do that electric thing, you free up more horsepower.
There is that. I do that as I just lop it all off the top anyways. So
You free up more torque.
oh, there you go. See, that's all I need to hear.
I've seen like a lot of guys run the Volvo unit,
Volvo's really
thing.
popular.
and then in a car that's really nose heavy, it's really cool because you can mount it like way back there and just run lines up to the front. But
Yep, Chaz did that in his Ecotech Swap Miata. So
yeah, I think Michael Helo's got his that way, or used to at least. And is he also?
yeah, so yeah,
I feel like Miata or K Power, it is now, I guess, was making kits for that.
I think your mic is dead, by the way, or you're on the wrong mic.
God damn it.
Yeah, there's definitely kits out there, and then there's like on eBay, there's a company that just sells like a brand new, like I think it's basically the same as I can't remember what car company it is. I think they're Australia and Europe and not here. And that's the reason I wouldn't want to do it, because if something goes wrong, then I'm stuck waiting for one to get shipped over here. So I definitely want something I can go get in America. So yeah, either Volvo or MR2 is kind of what I've settled on.
You can get a Volvo one on eBay right now for $176.
The MR2s are the same price, basically.
Volvo seems to be the one I hear the most about.
So hopefully somebody listening will be like, no, you don't want the MR2, you want the Volvo, and then, or whatever, and then that'll define my next step. But either way, that's probably where I'll end up going no matter what. But right now, we're just kicking that down the road.
They're going to tell you that the hydraulic pump for the retractable top on the Nissan Murano cross cab is actually the best possible pump that you can use.
Hard pass. We're talking. E-Man was trying to tell me to do the is it the Prius? The one that that attaches to your steering shaft, and I really don't feel like fucking with that. So that just seems like quite a bit more work, because you have to modify your steering column.
Yeah, and I feel like knowing how straight electric steering assist feels in just in the standard cars that I drive on the road, I don't know that I would want to undertake that on a track car. I don't know. It kind of gives me weird feelings about it. But
yep. No, I've a bunch of people are doing it in their drift cars and stuff. But like, man, when I was looking into it, I did not get a good feel for that being what I wanted to do at all. Plus, like, it seemed like twice the work with more risk of like completely losing feel. And yeah, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, the fact if you like the way the car feels right now, you can do that pump, and I think put a variable switch on it where you can adjust how much assistance it's providing.
Yeah,
everything will essentially be the same. You're just freeing up power and potentially moving weight back. So
hopefully we can at least get down the road with this power steering setup. You know, if I burn up a pump or whatever, it's no big deal. But the next like upgrade would definitely is now planned for that. And then tuning will be hopefully in the next week or two.
I beat you to having a tune.
You son of a gun.
By mere weeks. After getting a start on mine when your engine was still on a stand next to your car.
I mean, sometimes mail order tunes take months. It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
Also, racing Robbie is usually a losing battle when it comes to getting shit done like that.
Oh no, I wasn't intentionally picking a race, but yeah, here we are.
I mean, but when you win, you're gonna call it out.
Obviously,
yeah. as you should.
Yeah.
No, this has definitely been a get to it as things go. Don't give myself any unnecessary stress or pressure or anything like that. So it'll get done soon, and I don't have plans besides testing until at least June. So.
And then Watkins Glen.
I have done many laps on iRacing at Watkins Glen.
So you're saying I should make my plans?
You should definitely potentially maybe make plans. Maybe.
So the newest episode of It's Not the Car is like Sam Smith telling the full history of the first year of the Watkins Glen like road race, like the race on the streets.
Yes.
It's amazing. I was listening to it going like, well, I guess I'm finding a way to get to New York this summer, because this like everything that's cool about Road America it turns out it's also cool for a track on the other corner of the country that was built at basically the same time under the same circumstances of crazy people going, hey, let's have a race on the roads around this town, and then, oh man, people are dying, we can't keep doing this, and then, let's build an actual racetrack.
Yeah, I genuinely want to know if I like it as much in reality as I do on the sim, because it's definitely one of my favorites right now.
Is it pretty good?
Yeah,
I don't know that I've ever even driven it on a sim.
It's big like Road America, but more technical. And it's not just fast sweeping turns. It's there's more to it, and I don't know. It just I genuinely like it, and it's one of my favorite tracks to race right now. So I want to see if that's reality too.
I've got to figure out how to get there. There's not an airport anywhere near that place.
There's an airport in Columbus if you want to just like fly to Columbus, and, I'll take you.
I got to figure out how to make it only be like a couple days away from work and not like 5.
Oh, you're the boss's son. You could be gone all week.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone all week here. And
Robbie really loves to lean in on that.
yeah,
It's good times.
I'll be gone for a full week here coming up here fairly soon because I'm turning an old man. So
I don't want to talk about it.
yeah.
I'm getting dangerously close to it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, if anybody's got good travel tips for getting to Watkins Glen, let me know.
So far, all I got are tips on how to not get brought down a gravel road with a truck and trailer that you don't want to be down, because apparently GPS will do that to you.
That seems like a good pro tip, though.
Yes. But that's literally all I've been up to. Just working on that I rating. Waiting for parts.
What have you been doing, Adam?
Well, actually, I wanted to talk about my work truck, because it is the only thing that it's the only vehicle that I've ever had from brand new. And I've rolled over 200,000 miles now on it. And of those 200,000 miles, I'm pretty sure that I can safely say that less than 200 of them were not put on by me in the driver's seat. I don't let anybody else drive it ever. And it was given to me with less than 100 miles on it. There have been a few times where like a mechanic's had to drive it or something like that, but for sure less than 200 miles of what's on it right now were not put on it by me. And a lot of people talk about new vehicles and reliability and stuff like that. And while I'm not excessively mean to that truck, it does get used. It is a work truck after all.
You do drive it as if you're not the one paying for it.
No, I don't, because I don't want, I'm very partial to that truck now. Our fleet manager was actually talking to me a week or two ago about replacing it, and I was like not having it.
It doesn't need to be replaced yet.
I don't want to replace it. He's like, well, especially gas vehicles, newer vehicles, they get over 200K. They're like reliability tanks off, and you're putting 30 or 40,000 miles a year on it. So, by the end of this year, you're already going to be in the 230 to 240,000 mile range. Like that's not insignificant. And I was like, yeah, but I like my truck and I don't want a different one. I'm very partial to it. I'm very protective of it. But I kind of want to just talk about obviously it hasn't been flawless. There have been things we've had to do to it. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that it's been, or I'm actually a little bit surprised at how little we've had to do to that vehicle mechanically. So
is yours a 10-speed?
No, I think it's a 6.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's a 3/4 ton. It's a 2500, not a 2500 HD. It is the first year of the 6.6 V8. The top of the motor is a solid 8 to 12 inches lower than the fender line. I mean, it's way down in there. They clearly designed it with top mount twin turbo kits in mind, which I appreciate. Not going to ever do it, but I appreciate that they left the space for it. It's good that they planned that out. Or maybe it's just because diesels are really tall. I don't know.
What to say? It's because the Duramax has a hot V.
Nice. We do love good hot Vs here.
We really do.
So, but no. So, in the 200,000 miles, if I go through the list of things that I can remember, which isn't too bad. we ended up putting, so it has a transmission, and I'm pretty sure that it was, maybe it was oil and power steering cooler combo, like a small radiator that's kind of stacked in front of the main coolant system. That it was a combo unit, and I remember it leaking at one point. We ended up having to replace that because a plastic fitting broke off of it. Not a shocking
it's plastic
revelation.
A plastic piece broke on a 3/4-ton truck?
Well, who would have thought? That was after the warranty, of course, classically.
by like 3 days.
Yeah, I didn't get any work done on it under a warranty. Not a single thing that went wrong under warranty, which, I mean, I guess that's a credit to it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of people that do have vehicles with warranties that go into the dealership. So I didn't have any of that trouble. But I remember that being the first thing that went wrong on it. We ended up having to put a transmission in it, but GM does have a transmission fluid change interval. If memory serves me correctly, it's 30,000 miles for heavy usage and 50,000 miles for light duty. Mine shelled out around 100, I think around 140 or 150, and we never changed fluid in it once.
Oh,
so I don't really know that can really deservedly be put on the transmission. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like that was our own fault.
It's also pulling a house on the back of it.
Yes. So it does have it. The truck is 11 foot 8 inches tall, because it does have 6'3" tall, basically pickup bed camper with an air conditioning unit on top of that. So the total running height on that truck is 11.8. Which is not small. We put helper springs in it. The fleet manager we had at the time when we got it insisted that we do that, despite the fact that the payload rating for the bed was like it was more than that. It was probably like 500 to 700 pounds less than what that topper was supposed to weigh fully outfitted. And my personal opinion of it was that it didn't need the helper springs. But we got those put on before it even got delivered to our shop, so it's never not had them. So I don't know how well it would have handled that weight without them, but it rides perfectly flat as it is. It doesn't sag in the back at all, and since I've never not had the helper springs, I don't know if they made it a rougher ride or not. But the transmission shelled out. I really don't think that that's necessarily the truck's fault. I think that the transmissions are a little bit notorious for being weak points, but I don't know that that's really fair still. You know what I mean? Of course it is a GM V8, so we have put exhaust manifold studs on it.
Well, clearly.
I mean, obviously, there's certain things that just cannot be changed.
They hung a 47-pound exhaust manifold off of it with 4.5 millimeter studs.
And due to my fleet manager discussing the fact that he wants to replace my truck, I have not breached this topic with him yet, but it needs another one or two of them put on there, because it definitely has an exhaust leak right now. But I don't want to bring it up to him, because I don't want him to add fuel to we need to get rid of this thing fire. So, but I think that we've replaced 3 or 4 of them on the passenger side so far, and that's it. Put a windshield in it. That happens to anybody.
Yeah, constantly.
But like factory brakes all the way around still.
Seriously?
Even we've never put brake pads on it.
That's crazy.
But I put an absurd amount of highway miles on my truck. And so I think that, when you're doing a lot of highway miles, you're not locking them up a lot. And I try to be a pretty defensive driver on there, because I learned very quickly that if you lock up the brakes real hard, all of the things that are in my little camper on the back and move to the front, and then I got to spend like 30 minutes reorganizing my entire world, and it fucking endlessly upsets me because I'm pretty OCD about where everything is in the back of that, because I think it's very important to the efficiency and ability for me to do my job. And so I don't want to do that every time I get somewhere. And so I'm pretty careful about not locking them up and, giving myself plenty of space to slow down and stuff like that at a reasonable pace. So I don't know, maybe that's some of it, but yeah, we have not put brake pads on that thing yet. And
Wild.
I don't remember, there is brake pad sensors on it. I don't remember what they're at. They're below 50 now, but they're not burned up by any stretch.
I'm genuinely shocked. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is not the same pad compound I'm running on the Z right now.
That's not the same.
No.
It's not the same compound I had on my truck.
No. It's on its third set of tires, which I actually think is a problem. The first set of tires the factory set of tires we burned through in like 40 or 45,000 miles, which I don't think is an unreasonable.
Yeah, say 45 to 60. I mean,
Yeah. But then literally the second pair of tires, the second set of tires that were put on there, I had like 120 or 130,000 miles on those.
wow.
And I was actually mad about but there were times where people are like, oh, those must be great tires. Like, no, these are garbage. These are carved out of granite and they fucking suck.
Like a 700 treadwear.
Like, you would literally, if the roads were bad, you would hit the brakes and accelerate. It was awful. It would slide and skid at any turn. It was terrible. And they're like, well, the tread's really aggressive. Like, yeah, that just means the tires are loud. That doesn't mean they're good. But people don't understand. It's shocking to me how much people don't understand that.
Yep.
So, and then it had a sticky lifter in it. So, of course, as GM V8s are known to do as well, they eat two things, and that's exhaust manifold studs and cams.
What?
So I don't know if that truck is displacement on demand in the 3/4 tons in the 6.6s.
No, it wouldn't be.
I don't think it is, but it still did the same thing. It ate a lifter, and we had to put a cam in it. We caught it early enough that was all that had to be done with it.
Nice.
So it wasn't that big a deal, and it was, I don't know, I want to say like 170 or 180,000 miles. I mean, it had the mileage on it. It's not like it did it real early on. So, but that's literally all we've done to that truck, which I think is pretty good.
Like everything I've done to mine except the transmission.
I mean, factory wheel bearings, haven't done anything, and it doesn't ride terribly. It doesn't wander. It wanders in the wind, but it's a fucking billboard. So of course it does. But it's got a total of, when it rolled over 200,000 miles, at a total of 5,628 hours of runtime, and 1,671 of those hours was idle time, which seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
And honestly, my truck probably has less idle time than almost any other truck in our fleet for its mileage, because I'm pretty anal about that. I don't like my truck idling any more than it has to.
When you're working, like, do you have a generator that you're working off of?
There's a generator that slides out. Yeah. Okay. So there's a generator in there, and then the lights and stuff like that are tied to the 12 volt on the truck. And so there's a generator on there with a power inverter that will recharge the battery under the hood.
Nice.
So I don't have to worry about killing it when I'm using lights and stuff like that. But
you basically work in an RV.
Yeah. Since I got it, I have never reset the fuel economy counter. So a 400-mile average. I've never reset this. This is a 200,000 mile total. The best I've ever achieved over 400 miles is 13.3 gallons. Or sorry, miles to the gallon. 13.3 miles to the gallon, and my average is 10.3.
That's not great.
And very little of that is towing a trailer with any regularity.
I mean, you're
So,
you're
But
constantly.
it does have a house on the
Yeah,
back.
so you're constantly
Again,
dragging.
it does have a house on the back, and there's some stuff that because I'm just nerdy enough to think about this stuff. Like there's probably a 6 or 8 inch gap between the roof of the truck and the bottom of the overhang that hangs over the cab. And I always think about how much air gets trapped in there.
All of it.
And like literally, if I'm driving down the road, if I'm doing 60, 70 miles an hour down the road and I roll my window down to, I don't know, throw something out the window or whatever,
Littering.
I would never.
Littering and
Just throw it.
You can
It's all his
hear
cigarette butts and
The roof will pop. There is enough air pressure built up there that when there's not air pressure inside the cabin, it will push the air. It will push the roof down and go pop.
Oh,
and then when you
man.
roll the window back up, it'll pop back up again.
You need to get Johnny to design some like fairings to go on those big. There's like
Yeah.
pockets next to the corners of the cab.
Yeah. I thought about like you could use like garden edging around that. I don't know. Something like that.
kind of like what Scott Robertson did for the van.
for Jean-Claude Van Airdam.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like you could make a piece that would just like snap into the window of the back door that would like blend into that and probably make a big difference on it.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some things you could change if you really wanted to, but I feel like it'd be one of those things where you'd be chasing after tenths of a mile per gallon, which I guess over a 200,000 mile range when you're only getting 10 miles to the gallon is probably worth the effort.
And then at the end of each month, the company would write you a check for the difference for all your effort. Right?
Nope, that's definitely not what's going to happen. But
yeah, like one of those truck wing things. If you
that's what I need. For
say
sure.
if you put that there, that would make a difference. I'm sure of it.
That's for sure what I need. So, I don't know. It's been interesting. Not many people can say that they've had a vehicle from brand new and just put basically every single mile that's ever been put on it themselves.
Yep.
Even your personal vehicle, your significant other is going to drive, or you're not going to keep it for 200,000 miles or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. It's probably a weird thing to be attached to, but that's kind of where I'm at.
I want you to fight tooth and nail to just keep that truck as long as you can.
Well, the real
And I
shitty
want to
part
see
about it,
how many miles you can put on it.
if he told me that he was going to put me in another 2500 Silverado, I'd have been like, okay. I'm not a real fan of it, but fine. But he wants to put me, not only does he want to put me in a Ford, but he wants to put me in a 1-ton. And I was like, bro, just give me a Colorado. I'm done.
At least he's not trying to put you in a Dodge.
So, I don't know.
Okay, so he's going to get you the Ford 1-ton, and we're going to revisit this in 6 months, and you're going to have all of the things that you just talked about that had to be fixed, and then some.
Well, so the thing that I am working on right now, the active campaign that I am trying to use to prevent this, is that removing that topper is not simple. And
it probably wouldn't fit on a different truck, right?
No,
wink, wink.
Well, it is technically when you order the topper, you do tell them what brand truck it's going to go in, because there's a third brake and a rear and a backup camera on it, and they're designed to just plug right in. So like it plugs in line with the tail light on one side or the other, so that you get the third brake light, and then the wiring harness for the camera on the factory side of the truck just plugs into a wiring harness on the topper, and then the camera plugs into a housing. You take the camera off the tailgate and put it in there. And so I still have the factory backup camera on the truck. It's 10 and a half, 11 foot in the air, but it's still there. So it is a little bit skewed, the view of it, because it's still got the fisheye. So it's a little bit off, but it's still better than not having it at all, because I wouldn't know what the fuck's going on behind me if it wasn't there. But like I can still use it to back up and hook up to trailers and stuff like that. It still works for that.
Yeah.
So the backup lines are not right. So
they're not right when it's in the tailgates.
Yeah,
well,
so
maybe they are. I wouldn't know. Literally the only option that truck has, it's a work spec truck. The only option that truck has is the power open and close tailgate, and I never got to use it.
By the way, you should be able to shut those lines off on your backup camera.
You can.
Okay.
I still put them on there because they're a little bit off, but they're still helpful. You can just
fair enough.
push a button on the screen and turn them on and off. It's not a big deal, but so it is sort of GM specific, but it's not really. But my thing that I'm actively campaigning with that right now is that I've been told that a lot of Ford maintenance with the diesel motors, you just pull the cab off.
Oh yeah. That's
just a thing they do with Fords.
That's Duramaxes too.
I've been told that it's not as common with Chevys.
Yeah, we've got a customer that does quite a bit of diesel work, and he said that he's quickly refusing to work on any of the newer Duramax stuff just in general, but pretty well anything very involved at all. It's just start unhooking shit and pull the cab off of it and then go from there.
Right. I really don't want a diesel. I get why he wants to put me in a diesel in his mind, and he's probably not totally wrong, but I feel like I could probably argue it. But in his mind, he says that especially for the mileage that we want to put on vehicles before we retire them, gas vehicles are not good fleet vehicles. That diesels should be more reliable, but I would argue with modern emissions requirements, I'm not so sure that that's really the case anymore.
That's my dad's that he just traded off was a 2018, I think.
Yeah.
So it was the last of the last generation.
Right.
And it had like just over 100, or he might not have made it to 100,000, but it started having injector issues. And like they'd had to replace the def pump, or one of the sensors or something had quit. So they had to put like whole tank and everything in it. Luckily that was still under warranty because it was like $3,000 or $4,000 or something like that. And then it started losing injectors, and after the second injector went out of warranty, he was like, "Nope, I'm done. I don't want to deal with where this is headed." So he just went and got another one. But
we have a bunch of Ford like F5 and 650 like chassis cab trucks that have different kind of bed attached. We have dump trucks and reel trucks and water tank trucks and stuff like that on the back of them, right? And our head mechanic is so good at putting injectors in those that he can do it faster than our oil change guy can change the oil in that same truck at the same time. Like he can literally pull an injector, put a new one in, and send it out the door faster than our oil change guy can change oil in the same truck.
Well, the fun thing on a Duramax is you get to like rewire, like you have to like splice the thing back into the harness.
No, the Fords, apparently that's just a clip, moving on with life. But apparently diesel injectors are a thing you just replace semi-regularly now. Just a thing we do with our fleet. So I don't know. I don't know if it's really that big a problem or if we just have a problem on our own. But yeah, it seems to be a thing we do a lot of. So I just don't want a diesel because I don't want to smell like diesel every time I fill up my truck.
There's that.
So
it would get better mileage.
For sure
overall, but also your maintenance cost in between is going to be significantly higher, and the fuel is just substantially higher now than what regular unleaded is. So
right,
that was the back and forth that I had on getting the little baby Duramax versus the 5.3. It was like, well, wait a minute, like I'm going to spend $75 every time I get the oil changed on this thing, and I'm going to pay more for the gas, and like straight highway that 5.3 is getting 21, 22. So it's like, yeah, this worked out.
Yeah. The reason we bought it as a gasser was the year that we bought that truck, we had basically our CFO gave my boss, who at the time actually has the position I have now. But at the time when I got that truck, my boss was basically given a budget at the beginning of the year and said, I know you need a bunch of stuff for your department. Here's how much money you can spend. And it was one of those deals where we can either buy a Duramax or we could buy the test equipment that we want, because the price difference between the Duramax and the gas is the same as the test equipment we needed. And so that was the choice we had to make, because it's shocking. I mean, a diesel's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more. They're not cheap.
Yeah, you're talking a naturally aspirated
Right.
overhead valve single cam V8
cam. Yeah.
versus just the sheer mass of a Duramax is
Right.
insane.
Well, that's the other thing I've argued. I pull my vehicle off the road a lot. And anytime that we sink in, you know, we have to send crews out and fix that shit, or we get stuck or whatever. Like, weight is important for what I'm doing with my truck. And a diesel engine weighs a not insignificant amount more. So, I don't know. I'm trying to argue it. I'm probably going to lose. I swear to God, if he really puts he said he might be willing to put me in a 3/4 ton because he didn't know I didn't need the helper springs. That was why he wanted to put me in the 1 ton, was because of he thought if he bought the 1 ton that he wouldn't need the helper springs for the truck. But I really, really don't want to be in a 1 ton. I'm absolutely terrified of how awful that's going to ride. So,
With that,
no, I would much rather put another 100,000 miles on that truck. If I had it my way, I'd keep driving it.
yeah, with that box on the back, I think you'd be surprised at what it would ride like versus something unloaded, like,
Yeah, maybe.
which my dad's just had 3/4 tons, but like his unloaded versus having a 26-foot trailer hooked up to it. It's like, oh, it rides like a
sure.
Cadillac with a trailer hooked up to it. But,
Yeah, you're not wrong. So I know that, like with Dalton's old high countries,
Oh,
those were
man.
awful when he didn't have a trailer on.
oh man, you should drive one through New Orleans.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Should I say bounce through New Orleans in a high country dually?
Yeah.
It was touching the ground every 15, 20 feet, something like that.
And that's supposed to be the comfy one.
Yep.
I think that just means it has nicer seats. I think the suspension is the same.
There's there's a down on the bottom of the center stack where the radio and the HVAC is. That's where all the buttons are for like the tailgate. In my truck, it's just the tailgate and the hazard, and I think maybe a traction control button or something. No, that's not there because that's a dial on the side of I think that's it. I think it's just the hazard and the tailgate. And Dalton's high country, it was all buttons. Like it's you can tell there's like a foot long area there where they can obviously put more buttons, and they're just blanks on mine. Dalton's was buttons all the way across.
Yep.
Because of all the bullshit that the high country had. There's a button on this high country that when you push it, it would just roll all the windows down.
Oh, my truck has that.
Why?
So the only
What's the point?
The only use I've found for it is I sit in it at lunch, and the way I park right now, the sun shines in the driver's side, so I get in the passenger side, so I don't have the sun beating on me. And I just reach over and hit the start button, and then hit that button to roll all the windows down.
But
from the passenger
if I
seat.
remember right, it didn't roll them back up again, did it?
No, you have to get out.
Does it now?
I get out and go around and then roll them up from the driver's side. But yeah,
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I also figured out whenever it snowed here, or technically it sleeted and then all turned into ice. But so my old truck that was a 2010, you could press and hold the traction control button, but it would still keep StabiliTrak on. Like I didn't ever find a way to turn everything off because it would still like rein you back in if you were trying to be stupid. 2025, you can press and hold it while it's rolling, and it will turn everything off, and you can whip that thing for days on end.
Yeah, do you have off-road mode?
No, it's got like the dial with like 3 driving modes, but
yeah. So on mine, you turn it left to put it on off-road mode, and you turn it right to put it on tow haul. But off-road, according to the owner's manual, will give, it's like for when you're driving down gravel roads or something like that, it'll give you a little more slip before it catches you and straightens you back out. And it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, mine.
So, do you have the off-road screen on the center or on the center gauges that'll like tell you your degrees of tilt and stuff like that?
Oh, I got that one. I got that.
Mine's just two-wheel drive.
I like to refer that as.
Yeah,
when
that's to let you know when you're about to tip.
No, so when we're like driving down a really steep hill, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm at 4 degrees down bubble, like I'm in a fucking submarine or some bullshit." I think it's hilarious. Nobody ever laughs with me. I think it's funny. Fuck everybody. So, but I don't know. It's been a good truck. It's been interesting as like a brand new vehicle. You know, I've never had anything brand new. I never knew how that goes. I'm always 4th owner of everything I've ever owned. So, you know, it's been an interesting experience. So
look around in there and go, who did? Oh, yeah. It was me. I did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely, you can tell that I basically live in that thing. So there's been a lot of hours of me sleeping in the driver's seat of that truck in some closed Casey's gas station waiting for the sun to come up. So I felt like it was safe for me to drive home. And that, you know, I've had that truck in 3 or 4 different states, and it's not uncommon for me to drive from one river to the other in Iowa in a week. So it gets around, but it's been interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I got car related though. So, otherwise we're still just in deep freeze mode. It's cold here.
One more dumb question.
Okay.
Does it have a pass through into the cab, into the box in the back? Or is it just solid?
No, it does not. Nope, it's solid. It's actually, technically, we didn't spend the money on it, but the topper is supposed to be designed so that had my crack team of mechanics not cut all the quick disconnects off and just butt spliced all the wires together, you're supposed to be able to just quickly run through and disconnect everything. And then there's what looks like 5 foot tall trailer jacks that go into little pockets. There's 4 little pockets on the topper, and then they tie together at the base, and you're supposed to be able to just lift the thing up and drive out from underneath it in like less than 10 minutes. So you can use it as a truck again. But we decided to cut all the quick disconnects for all the power and stuff like that off and just butt splice those wires together. And so now it can't be taken in and out like it's supposed to be. And we also did not buy the trailer. And by we, I mean the mechanics and not me. I had no decision in this process because I definitely would not have done that. But
it's an odd choice on their part.
Well, because the quick disconnects that came on the wiring harness for the topper only had the one side. Like, I don't know if they forgot to ship us the bag with the other sides or what, but we ran, like, there's power wires ran from under the hood back to the truck.
Sure.
And I don't know why they did what they did, but it's all hardwired. It's not hardwired, but it's all like, if we undid it, we have to cut everything and then re-splice it back together. And I remember when the topper showed up, it showed up on for lack of a better term, a giant pallet. And I remember looking at it, and the wiring harness was all run along the side. And I was looking, oh yeah, look at this, got all these quick disconnects and stuff like that. This thing will be sweet. We'll have this thing in the back of the truck in 45 minutes, and I can be on my way. And it took them fucking 3 weeks to put the damn thing in there. It turns out it was because they couldn't figure out how to get the connectors, so they just cut everything off and spliced it in.
How many wires?
Not that many.
Oh man, you could have just ordered like anything off a Mouser and got
I
it.
know. Because basically there is the, because like the brake light and the camera, those still have the connectors on them, so
Sure.
those could still be disconnected.
Yep.
But basically after that, I think there's 2 power and 2 ground runs, and that's it.
Oh man,
They're like either 2 or 4 gauge wire, and that's it.
you could have overnighted any. Like Amazon would have had like whatever you needed.
I know.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's frustrating.
Yeah. So I don't know, man.
No, it's not your problem. It's not your problem. That's the
I
thing.
mean, it kind of is, 'cause it's my truck.
Yeah, but you're not the one that has to do it.
As is always the case in my life, if I was just allowed to do it myself, I would have done it better. But I was forced to let somebody else do it, and they made things more difficult for me.
Well, when you get your new Ford, you'll make sure they do it right.
It's not funny. I don't know why I'm so opposed to the Ford. Like, I shouldn't really care, right? Because it's not my money. Beggars can't be choosers, right? Like, it's a company vehicle, and I shouldn't care. But I'm like upset that he wants to give me a Ford product. I don't know why.
I've had really good luck with all the Ford stuff we've dealt with, so I mean, I don't have a negative taste in my mouth about it. But like, I don't
really either. I just don't. I just want another Silverado.
I know the misery that I have, and I'm fine with that. That's the misery I'm comfortable with. I don't want a new misery.
It's not misery though. It's been really good to me, I think.
So
The diesel thing scares me more than anything, honestly. I just have these thoughts in my head of this thing being a huge pain in my ass, or
There's more to it, that's for sure.
gelling up and not starting at home, and I just don't want to deal with it.
The biggest thing that jumps up in my brain whenever I think about owning a Ford is anytime I hear somebody open the door on one and it does that Microsoft do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. I cannot handle all of the sync set, like the Escape that I rented for Road America. That thing was constantly making some kind of Windows sound all the time. It drove me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The Odyssey will not stop beeping at you if you haven't pulled the key, and it upsets. Like the work truck, you pull the key out, you put the key back in, and then you open the door and it won't beep at you. Like if you don't pull the key once, it'll beep at you. It'll ding. But if you just take the key out, put it back in, it doesn't ding anymore. It's great. The Honda, if that key is in there, it's telling you, and it pisses me off because I don't want to take the key out. I want to leave it in there so I don't lose it, but I don't want to hear the ding.
Note to anybody that would like an Odyssey.
It's sitting there with the key in the ignition right now.
Do me the favor, please.
Hold on, let me change this insurance policy over a little bit first.
My work truck is locked behind the van, so you're going to have a tough time getting it out of there. But so I do not leave the work truck unlocked. No. It's the only thing I lock. So I'm actually pretty anal about that.
I'm such a city boy. Everything is double locked.
I still keep everything locked. I don't trust anybody.
My trailer right now is sitting in a locked storage unit with 2 locks on the hitch.
Yeah. Why else where else are you gonna do with it?
Partially just because I go like a month and a half, 2 months at a time without going over there, and like it's a little extra security. But.
Yep.
Once we had kids, Katie and I decided to buy like the door pad lock for the house, and like now I have a key. But I lived here 10 years without even having a key to my door in my house.
no, I don't trust technology that much.
I have a key now, and we lock the door, and we've got the keypad, and I've got the key if the pad doesn't work. But up until we bought that a few years ago, I'd never locked my house. Didn't even have a key when I moved in. So
yeah, see, when we moved in, I replaced all the locks. So now I have like just a stack of keys. So then I have every vehicle has a key to the house. There's a lockbox with the code and then a key, and then I also have pads to get in and out. So like, because when I was back in Iowa, that first weekend, right after Christmas when we moved in, Jess locked herself out of the house, and so she's calling me in a panic because her and her mom can't get in the house, and we're like we don't know anybody. So yeah, when we changed the locks, I made sure to make sure there was no way you could lock yourself out of the house if you like.
just don't lock the house, and you can't lock yourself out.
No, I don't trust people. Jess doesn't trust people. I don't trust people. You shouldn't trust people.
I locked myself out of our house in the garage, like right after we moved in here. The door between the house and the garage.
That's the door.
It would like, and I wouldn't even intentionally lock it. It would like the way the handle was made. Whenever I opened it, I turned the thing and didn't realize it, and then went to go back in. And I'm like, I'm needing to leave for work, and I ended up like, I'm in a garage. I've got tools. I'm not locked out of my own house.
No door's really locked. It's
No.
just slowing me down.
And I managed to do it without doing any irreparable damage as well. So
We have at work, we have a closet where they keep all the toilet paper and all that shit. And technically, the custodian people are the only people who are supposed to have a key to that. And we run out of toilet paper all the time. And I promise you, I can open that door faster with my utility blade. This bad boy right here. I promise you, I can open that door faster with this than anybody can with a key. Yeah. You just slide that bad boy right in there and pop it right open. Ain't nothing but a thing. So I've been accused of being a thief before because you're too good at that. It's not for the reason you think it is. I promise you.
It's just toilet paper, man.
Do you want to wipe your ass or not? Okay, talk shit. Let's go. I'll just walk away and leave this door locked if you're going to be that way about it.
desperate times.
So, but I don't know, man. Springtime. We'll see what happens with the car life.
Yep.
So that's all I got.
So I mentioned it earlier, but I think the last time we talked about cars, I said that we would probably check back in with me in a couple of weeks, and I would be regretting taking the path that I did on trying to get my car tuned. And we were almost there.
Yeah, we were close. You and I had to have some one-on-one conversations about this.
So went to Z1 to do their mail-in tune, or not technically mail-in tune. They send you a tuner, and then they do it based on your modifications, and went back and forth with them for a little while because they were having trouble getting the car to hit the timing that they were sending to it, which turned out after some back and forth ended up just being a simple fix from Ecutech that does the tuners for them on some firmware stuff. Then the car went from having this weird dead spot from 2,500 to 3,500, and then coming on like a bat out of hell from 3,700 to 4,000, which was super interesting. Went from that to just being smooth, linear, nice, crisp power all the way through. So I'm extremely happy with that. Back in January, I guess,
Yeah,
on
I think it was January.
the preliminary tune that they had sent me that probably wasn't really supposed to go on a racetrack. I did a track day at Eagles Canyon, and the car picked up 6 miles per hour on the back straight versus what I had run previously. So
Voice.
I was super impressed with that.
That seems worth it.
Yeah. So doing high flow cats and their like race intake setup that puts the filter elements up behind the bumper. It woke it up quite a bit. It's just a lot more responsive all the way around too. Like you at Eagles, it would get down out of the power range in several of the corners in third gear, and with how it pulls now, it's like the car just like it no longer feels like I need to put gears in it because it actually pulls itself out of a corner at in a lower RPM. So I did the track day, and then decided that all of the like the hot Z race setup stuff that I read in the Facebook track prep Z group is big spring rates, big front sway bar, no rear sway bar.
Yep.
And I drive the car on the street a bunch, so I don't want to go like huge spring rates.
You're still divorced springs in the back, like you're not full coilover, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I think which changes it quite a bit, because usually when they're talking that's true coilovers.
Yeah, and the true coils have a lot better motion ratio than what the divorce setup does. But I factored that in whenever I'm looking at what spring rates are. But I just know like the majority of track focused cars are like orders of magnitude stiffer than mine, front and rear. Because I was still on the stock springs that came with the Olin's Road and Track setup. Mm-hmm. And the thing I've never liked about those is the rear was a progressive rate. So it was like 330 to 400 pounds, something like that. And I wanted to get rid of that and also just bump the rate up some. So I ended up switching and found some Eibach springs that would go back in their place. They're actually Eibach off-road springs.
Nice.
That are relatively close to the right length. And I was able to get enough in the spring adjuster to get them back to basically the same ride height I had. So I wanted to do, before we do the Optima event here in a couple weeks, I wanted to do a track day and an autocross just to kind of test everything out. And I did the track day and then changed rear spring rate, and then went and did an autocross on old used up AO52s that did not ever get up to temp through 5 runs. So I've basically done 2 test days and completely not gotten very much useful data out of either one of them other than just getting seat time. But yeah, so
sounds like you're ready.
Yeah, we're totally ready. And then so after doing the autocross, I also just decided to throw caution to the wind and move the front sway bar to full stiff also. So which is like
you'll be fine.
The Hotchkiss bar has 4 positions. I was in the 3rd one, which is the next to softest. So now I'm full stiff. So we'll have a full morning of autocross and a full afternoon of speed stop to kind of dial things in, and then run the road course on Sunday during the Optima deal. So 2 full days to just beat my head against the wall and see what works.
You'll be happy. We're all excited for you to be full stiff.
Hell yeah.
Only in the front.
Yeah, no, just in the front. In the back, you're full loose.
The back is still very soft.
Are you running a rear sway?
Yeah, I've got the Hotchkiss one on it, still full soft.
Yep.
And at one point I had put the stock one back on it, but I didn't have the front one that stiff, and the car was just dead. It just pushed everywhere. So I don't know, goofing around with it on the street and going down to my little Autocross Mexico test track through all the distribution center buildings down the street from me. It feels
allegedly,
of
course.
I mean, the cool thing about testing for autocross is you can do it at like 32 miles per hour. So, but the front end feels
leave second gear.
Yeah, the front end of it feels like like it feels a lot tighter, obviously, but it feels a lot more responsive and a lot more planted than what it did.
I think you'll be happy with it.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures from both the track day and the autocross, and it was like, this car has just as much body roll as it did stock. I don't understand what's going on. And yeah, I think stiffening that front bar will make a big difference on it. But.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I had some of the pictures of in there was, so for Optima, we get judged for design and engineering. I'm taking my car that from the outside and from the inside and from pretty well everywhere. Like everything I've done to this car is just on the bottom side of it where nobody sees it. So back before Christmas, I got the bright idea I wanted to do a little project with my 3D scanner. And I haven't done, like, since I got the scanner and since I started playing with Fusion, I hadn't really done any 3D printing kind of project. So I decided the Z has this factory plastic cover that goes over the brakes on the driver's side and then the battery on the passenger side. And I have this big, silly motorsport brake setup that's just dual Tilton master cylinders that are just altogether race car looking stuff. And I put all those I'd taken all those covers off at some point, and I put all those back on there just to kind of clean things up under there a little bit for whenever I'm getting judged for whatever this is all worth. This is like peeing in the wind, but I got the bright idea to make an insert into that to show like those two reservoirs kind of sticking into that cover in some form. So I scanned it with the cover off of it and then scanned it with the cover on it and then took it into Fusion and spent like roughly an hour and a half trying to align the two meshes because I'm just not that smart, and designed like giving it some cushion around the caps for them, piece that would insert down through that, and then the caps would screw onto it, and it's got a full bottom in it and everything. And checked and double checked and rechecked and looked things over and was like pretty confident that I've got all of the angles and everything and the distances and all the stuff pretty close, and ordered it up. I have a buddy that has a 3D printer, but I didn't want to waste his time on this thing that's probably not going to work anyway. So got on.
We're the same person. When I made that stupid steering column thing, I was like, I could ask Jason to do this, or I could just pay $20 to Craft Cloud and not have to talk to anybody.
No, if I pay somebody on Craft Cloud and this,
you're both out of control.
Yeah, if I pay somebody on Craft Cloud in Topeka, Kansas to print this for me and it doesn't work, they won't know how much of an idiot I am. So I got it in, and then I got out there and was looking at it. I was like, well, I need to get back into Fusion and make an outline for the cover so I can make a cutting template, so I'm not just taking a wild guess at this and screwing it up from the start. So I made my template and got out there and just like, all right, throw caution to the wind. Just take my 3-inch hole saw and zick. All right, there's no turning back now. And stick it up there and get things in place. And it's lined up on the inside edge, and it is like nearly a half-inch too tall on the outside edge. So it turns out I somewhat simplified the angles that were at play between the tops of the master cylinder reservoirs and the top of the cover. But so I just kind of sat there looking at it for a while and got kind of mad and was like, well, I have to make something of this now because this cover is not a super readily available part in the amount of time that I have. So it occurred to me that I could just cut the bottom out of it and just let it be a little window instead of like a kind of a cap cover reservoir kind of thing. So it ended up working out. It accomplishes what I was intending to do, and it turned out all right. So
yeah, it's just a nice little window to let everyone know that you're not a normie.
I have mental problems. Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
When you sent those pictures, I was like, what are you trying to do here, man? But now that you've explained it to me and you're trying to flex on the normies, I can support that.
Now that I've explained that it's for D&E, you know what a weirdo I am. So.
You get Ricer points, and I'll allow it.
Yep. You need to put some lights around it so that it lights up the whole thing. Just just a quick little strip light on the back side of that would just light up the whole thing, man. I'm just saying.
I need to just get like a stick on like one of those like closet flashlight things.
Yeah.
Just stick it in the side in there.
I like it. Yeah, and if anything, you need more like brighter, just like you should put a little bit of like red or maybe a brighter color just in the logo of Tilton, so that people will look and they're like, oh, that doesn't say Nissan like the rest of the pours.
So what I really need to find is some like titanium reservoir caps, but I don't know that exists because people that buy Tilton stuff normally don't care about hot boy points.
I bet there's some anodized aluminum stuff out there.
I was gonna say, I don't know that I agree with that statement. There's got to be something out there.
Yep, I'd be shocked if there wasn't.
Yeah. Quick Google search isn't really finding much. But.
So speaking of like,
what is that? Cut or print cut or send cut send? Is that what the site's called? They got your back.
Craft Cloud, you could print up one. Well, I guess if you do Proto Labs or Craft Cloud, you could have it machined.
Yeah, or I could
out of whatever material you want.
I could just like we have a plasma cutter. I could just like cut a piece of thin steel and paint it, and just glue it to the top of the cap. Or I could put my time and effort into something that actually makes the car faster.
What about carbon fiber?
Ooh.
Now we're speaking Robbie's language.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, there's got to be a way you can sneak some carbon fiber in here. There's no way someone doesn't make a carbon fiber cover at least for a Tilton reservoir.
They're out there, man. I'm telling you.
It's got to be.
Someday I'll be that committed to this, but not between now and March 14th.
So one of the things I just remembered because I was looking at your brakes was that when I did my test drive that I hadn't driven the car much since I'd done the brake booster delete setup. And like as I was doing my quick like pulls and then verify that my engine works, I was like, man, these brakes feel kind of weird. I'm not happy with it. And like it occurred to me in my like quickness to get it put together, and I was like, we'll just get everything working, and then we have plenty of time to make it work right. And I hadn't done that second step. And it occurred to me that I'd never once set like the pre what's what I'm looking for? Like preload or whatever.
Just check the general push rod length.
Yeah. So I just kind of threw it in there. It's like, this came out of a 350Z. This is going to go in a 350Z. It's got to be the same length. Not even fucking close. So it's supposed to have like 3 millimeters of like preload, and mine had like none. So when I would go to hit the brakes, it's like 1.5 inches of dead before it even like starts to push it. It's like, yeah, no wonder they feel like shit. So fix that.
Not really the feel that you want for manual brakes.
No. So we fixed that. Yeah, it works really well now.
Yeah, I went so at least yours is just a single.
Yeah,
it's just a single.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of screwing around. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Alaria setup with the balance bar, there's like 7 different places for slack to be there, and I drove the car for 2 seasons before I finally like
really got a feel for it.
I got out there one night and like I'm sticking my phone up on top of the reservoirs and recording video and like just like barely tapping the pedal and then like pushing on it really hard and feel like what is happening? Something in here is not happy and I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to stop until I find it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it turned out it was a combination of preload on the masters themselves, and then also the preload on the main rod going into the bracket, because there's a separate bracket that's got this big like hinge in it. And yeah, once I got everything taken up, it was like, oh, this actually feels like what manual brakes are supposed to feel like, where it's just it feels like you're pushing on a wall in there versus like a big spongy nasty mess.
Yes.
So,
well, mine started because I was going down this rabbit trail of like my sim setup. I'm like, I don't like the way these brakes feel. So then I bought the whole like Club Sport Make It Feel Great kit. So then I spent like a whole afternoon adjusting that, and I'd go out to the shop and like, okay, here's the level of pressure I have to push on the Z. And then I try to mimic that here. And then like that led to like, well, now I hate the feel of the Z. Surely I can adjust that. And so then I realized, oh yeah, that's not quite right either. So I seriously spent an entire weekend of just fucking with the feel of my brakes on my sim and the feel of my brakes on my car. And I'm finally somewhat satisfied. For now.
Till it's time to go floor mounts.
That's a big jump. So yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or we're done with this racing racket. And
Have
I just focus on the Z32.
Have you ever done like? Did the Camaro have floor mounts or anything like that?
It was a Willwood hanging setup, but it worked basically. It was essentially the same as what their floor mount setups are. It's just upside down, but the plan with how much we set the driver's seat back, it's going to get floor mounts this time, just for the sheer fact of like trying to build a structure out 8 inches from where it was at is not like super feasible. So floor mounts. I
was just curious if you'd ever, like, if you've ever driven. Have either of you ever driven a floor mounted paddle setup?
The NPL one was. Right? Yeah.
That's kind of hard to compare.
Yeah.
The closest I've come to it was sitting in the GT4 Supra. It had, it's got like a big like riser in it. So like for a GT car, your feet were up more like a prototype style. It was kind of wild. And then
I'm just curious how different it really is, and if it like matters.
Yeah, for us on the Camaro, it's purely a packaging thing. It's just the lightest way we can get something in there that is sturdy enough for the kind of pressure you need to put on it is to do it on the floor. So.
Oh yeah, the NPL one definitely was on the floor. Okay, I remember now.
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I was just wondering if anybody had ever actually driven one that way.
We could get Adam Jabay on here. He has one.
That's true.
For now.
We could ask him questions.
I do want to hear about his Porsche. Yeah. And other things.
And other things.
I don't know
Nobody really has to say anymore.
Yeah. But
it's been a quiet week on that front for the most part. So
on the Gridlife part?
Yeah.
Real quiet. Yeah, definitely no announcements.
Super quiet.
Yeah. No announcements or anything like that.
No interesting news whatsoever. Nothing to see here, people.
Yep. All good. Everything's fine.
Yeah, we'll get into our hot takes on that next week.
Eventually, yeah, probably. But yeah, that's all I got this week, I think.
This is the perfect opportunity to have our next Mandela Effect episode of
just do the whole episode and then just mention Gridlife for like a second, and then that's it.
Hot opinions on the Gridlife
announcement.
Sale, merger, acquisition.
Sale, I think. Technically, it's a sale. That's what the article said. I don't know how I feel.
That's what GRM said about it, at least. But
yeah. I mean, I guess we can dive into it. We got time.
Could not care less.
I mean, it's growing. It's probably outgrowing me. I mean, I felt that way the last couple of years, and I mean, that's just reality. So, I mean, the series is growing to a place I'm not willing to spend, and that's fine. I mean, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can, while I still feel the drive to do it, and I'm willing to spend the money to do it. And I know that day is coming where I'm not going to have that feeling anymore. And 2 years ago, I didn't have that feeling, and I found it again. But so if it continues to grow at the rate that it's growing, it'll outgrow me, and that's fine. Good for them. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it with a negative connotation. I mean, that's just where I'm at.
Yeah, we were talking about it this afternoon, and I was like, the thing I finally came up with on it was, and like, so we started drag racing the Camaro in 2009. So we did drag week, and then we were quickly outclassed on that, and then we bracket raced, and then all of our tracks closed, and then we started doing Optima, and then Optima kind of changed the format and moved away from us, and then Gridlife was like kind of in my orbit, and then it's kind of moved away. And I'm looking around at everybody freaking out about this, and I'm like, wait a minute. A lot of you haven't like done some kind of racing and then had it like change away from what you wanted. And it really shows that you're freaking out over this. Yep. Like it's just evolution, and like what it started out as and what it's been for so long. If it's not financially sustainable, then yeah, if the question is, do we get to have a grid life, or that looks a little bit different, or do we not get to have a grid life, then I think everybody would have the same answer. They want it to be there. So.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree. We all want to have 2016 grid life pricing with all of the added features of 2025 and 26.
Yeah.
Those don't fucking work. I want it to cost what it costs in 2016. Of course I do. I want the vibes of 2016. It's not going to work, man. I get it. So, I mean, yeah, to have the live stream and to have the festivals, like it's going to be an expensive thing. So you're either part of it or you're not willing to do it. And so for me, I really liked a festival here and there, and I liked the club weekends. Like that's more my speed. I enjoyed the racing. I enjoyed the community. I mean, I still do. Like, I don't want to say it in the past tense because, like, I really do enjoy that. But 6 festivals spread out across the country, that's not going to work for me. Like in a series, in a season. So now I can do 1 or 2, and then I will have to find somewhere else to spend that much effort. So and so like that, I personally don't love that's a business model. Like if you're like by breaking it out, doing 6 big events spread out across the country, you only have to take someone's money once. That works because then you only have to take people only have to spend that much one time. But like I enjoy running in a series. I enjoy doing the whole that's where my focus is. And so like if that's outgrown me, that's reality, and that's not a negative thing. Good for them.
Yeah, it has morphed over time for the festival and the overall experience of it to kind of take over the priorities of the motorsports side of it, and from their perspective, that's the direction that they feel is viable, and it is definitely the most unique part of it is that festival experience. So,
I mean, and Gridlife's not alone in this. I mean, look at WRL from 6-10 years ago to where it is today. I mean, you could show up with a car prepped at we'll use my car for an example, because I've poured a bunch of money into it, but it's not like $100,000 race car, So you could show up with a 350Z that you built yourself to a WRL event and be competitive 10 years ago. whatever, 5 years, we'll just say 10 years ago for the sake of conversation. But now, if you're not showing up with a car that's capable of being built by an IMSA team, you're probably not going to be competitive at all. And the budgets that go along with it that's what they are. IMSA light, and that's reality. They've grown, Gridlife has grown, and you're not going to get a live stream like you get for, as I point to myself, fucking nobodies. You know what I mean? It's like that's reality.
But I want my cake and I want to eat it too, Robbie.
I understand. I know what I want.
Rabble.
Yeah, I know what I want, but that doesn't mean it's reality, or even a feasible thing to ask. So, no, I'm happy for Gridlife. I do think that this could potentially mean all good things for them and bigger growth. It could be a whole different trajectory that we never even envisioned. And I've been lucky enough to do this for 10 years.
Hey, while we're talking about going back to 2016 things, I would like to worry more about the things that I was worried about in 2016 because they seem a little less.
Holy cow, it was easier. Things were so much.
Yeah. The tie-in with Racer on the sale is, I think that'll be a cool. Like I've liked what Racer has done over the years. The magazine's always been cool. Mm-hmm. They've expanded it out into broadcasting stuff now. So
and I have at work, I'll check 6 websites during my lunch break. Racer's one of them. It's it's one of the save tabs. And so I mean, reading between the lines here, I mean, you got Racer Network. Where do you think the live stream's going? I mean, logically, where's it going to go?
Yeah.
Racer Network. That could be a win-win for everybody. So,
well, maybe the level of live stream that gets put on becomes more sustainable whenever it's tied in with a network like that. I would assume. So.
Yeah. I know it's a Herculean effort to put it on, and finding a way to pay for it would be having it pay for itself would be amazing for them. So, yeah, I don't want to see it go away.
Yep.
So.
I think Jabez just a sellout, and he's working 50 hours a week for as a separate job on his own because it's fun and not because he has to.
Definitely
Obviously,
that. Definitely
he's
that.
loaded, and that construction side gig is just a passion project. Obviously,
yeah. The millions they raked in this week.
Yep,
craziness.
The
best part is that people believe that. They think they've been raking in. They've been putting on these big events making millions for years.
I know that we have a little bit of a unique view on that because we're
friends with them.
We're buddies, but I mean, he doesn't get out there and post his public shit on or his private shit on public forums. So, I mean, maybe it is, if you're looking at the 10,000 foot view, maybe that is what it looks like. But
anybody that's listened to him and Abe talk on Slip Angle for the last several years, has a reasonable picture of the kind of high wire act that I mean, and it's not unique to them. It's promoting any kind of motorsports event or really any event.
Yeah, if you've ever been involved in motorsports at all, and whether it's SCCA, NASA, or if you've done anything to put on an event, even an autocross, people aren't just making fortunes doing this. And so trying to do it as a for-profit business, yeah, it's a hell of a challenge. So yeah, it is always hilarious when I see those comments. Just you gotta be fucking kidding me. It'd be great to live with that type of delusion.
Yeah, years ago, I overheard somebody at a local event say, "Well, Gridlife can do stuff like that, but they're raking in $150K a weekend."
Yeah, sure.
I was I don't even know that NASCAR, how much does NASCAR make in a weekend?
I think I knew with Iowa Speedway they only cared about 2 events a year, the NASCAR and the IndyCar event, and they were fine with shutting down for the entire rest of the year. But like
we've got
you're
a track
talking
like that
100
here.
Yeah, like you're talking hundreds of thousands of people, and yet the concert, like the crazy expensive tickets. I mean, it's a whole thing. But yeah, it's to look at. It's a word I like to not throw around. Like I say, it's not true anymore because if you look at a grassroots event like Gridlife, even though it's pro racing, if you look at a grassroots event and then compare it to an IndyCar weekend, you're going to get that ridiculous comparison. Like, oh yeah, IndyCar, that's a whole sustainable business. No, dude.
I think those people are probably struggling more than most people realize.
Oh, pro racing as a whole doesn't seem to be on the strongest.
It's just a house of cards,
overall,
man.
but
like the whole thing.
If you want to make a small fortune in racing, start with a big one is a joke that's not really funny.
Not a joke. Not a joke at all.
No. So,
yeah.
Robbie, did you mean motorsports or the entire capitalist
yes
experiment?
Just everything's a house of cards, man. That was my biggest epiphany as an adult, was just like everything is smoke and mirrors and bullshit. Like everything.
So, in short, build the 9,000 RPM VQ.
Just do it. Yeah, do it for yourself. You gotta find joy where you can find it.
Speaking of house of cards and fakeness, I was talking to my mom earlier today on the phone about transferring money around and like how you can only do so much a day.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't understand it. Like,
it doesn't actually exist.
It's imaginary money. All they're doing is changing a count on one thing to another. Like the money doesn't, it's not real. Like, why are they, and they're not.
No, they have to wait for the guy to come get it.
They're not charging
carry it over there.
Moving it. So why are they limiting the amount of money I can move from one place to the next in a day?
One of my favorite conversations my wife and I have ever had was this was early on whenever Bitcoin really started making like mainstream headlines. She was like, I don't understand it. It's not real. I was like, the money in your pocket's not real either.
Yeah, none of it's real. It's all fake.
She's like, but it's money. Here it is. It's in my hand. I was like, no, but it just trades on the fact that like this is still going to be like this United States. All you're trading on is the fact that that's still going to be a thing tomorrow.
Yeah. Its value is what we say it is.
Yeah.
Right. But digitally, it makes even less sense because that's really not right. I'm not even holding it. There is. Why are you stopping me from transferring this amount of money every day? Like, why is there a limit on that? Why does it matter?
That is odd that there's a limit.
It's to keep you from stockpiling all the vintage Dodge Omni.
It's to protect you from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Midwest Russ is doing that enough. It's hard to buy a Dodge Omni these days. So
yeah.
But it's getting late, boys. I'm tired.
You and me both, man. It's been a week.
Yeah. It's only Tuesday, Robbie.
I said what I said.
We had a guy walk in.
I'm not arguing. I agree with you.
We had a guy walk ththrough this morning at about 9:30. And I said, "How's it going?" And he said, "Oh, just waiting on Friday." And I was like, "Bro, it is not even lunchtime on Tuesday. We got problems."
I have been known to tell people that I'm ready for the weekend before 8 a.m. on a Monday. So I don't know what you're getting at.
Yep, that's a universal feeling, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
We're going to have ourselves a week. We'll catch everybody else next week.